All right, if you were looking for it, I look like like a locked character in a skateboarding game. Let me see if this is better. Oh, it's definitely a lot better. Listen, if you were looking for a video that snaps you into action, makes you go beyond overthinking, makes you go beyond procrastination and hesitation, this might be the one for you. As someone who is a victim, not necessarily a victim, but who has experienced those things, it's because of this ideology that I have been kind of assimilating this entire time through my self-development journey. And I journaled about this yesterday, and it just clicked for me. Through learning about self-development, you get into understanding your mind. You get into understanding consciousness, understanding mindsets, and how those inner convictions and those inner paradigms can affect not just your worldview, but also your experience. So then you start to read books, and you start to watch videos, and you start to listen to podcasts that tell you that to fix your inner world, to focus on changing internally, because it's those internal changes that lead to long-term external changes, the ones that, are more beneficial than the New Year resolution ones, where you just change a habit, but you don't necessarily address the self-perception and the self-idea and your self-beliefs that those actions, those habitual actions that you want to change extend from. And through consistently reading those things and listening and kind of conceptualizing all of those things, you get to this paradigm, this ideology where you are convinced that action is inferior to thought, where whenever you want to act, you should act from a certain understanding, a certain consciousness. But what you don't see is that this leads to overthinking. This leads to procrastination. This leads to hesitation. This leads to inaction, because you then get yourself into a place where you think that you have to think of all the possibilities to then choose the right action, which then leads you to what people call analysis paralysis. And I didn't realize that I was running on this ideology until I took a moment to look at my life, to look and to see the patterns, to see the systems and the habits, both internally and externally, right, mentally and physically, that I have. And I realized that I have the habit of procrastinating. I have the habit of hesitating because I want to think about the best way to do things, because I don't want to waste my time. But then this leads me to going further into thinking, going further into developing, going further into analyzing, going further into contemplation, never acting. And through this field that I've been developing called intra-amelioration, intra meaning within, amelioration meaning the betterment of, together it is the betterment of the internal systems of an entity. Through understanding neuroscience and how it's discovered that your brain is a prediction mechanism, that it doesn't interpret raw reality, it interprets its prediction of it. Because your brain can't see the outside world, it has to generate an image, and you experience that image. And through understanding this, and through understanding, how it's connected to psychology and the mental concepts and the mental paradigms and mindsets that we have, as well as to biology and, understanding how, our nervous system generates feeling and emotions and how everything not is kind of connected. But where am I going? Intra-amelioration, action. Okay, yeah, through, I'm back, through discovering this field, through creating this field and creating the framework, it's been made, or it's been revealed to me, that action is the most reliable way for you to change that which I call your inner architecture. And this inner architecture is the content and the context of your prediction mechanism, right? Your past experiences, your understanding, everything that's relative to you, not the mechanism, but that which the data, the information, the knowledge, the consciousness that that fills that mechanism. Action gives you experience, but action also, it gives the mechanism data. You see, how I like to think about it is like this, right? Let's say you're on island A. Island A is who you are, and you want to go to island B. Island B is this person that you desire to evolve to, the person that you desire to become. You can think of all that you want of how island B is, but understand that it is only a reflection of your interpretation of the island that you're on, right? You have no idea what island B actually is, right? You've only been on island A your entire life, so you can only think from island A, the data of island A. So you're going to think relative to how you can predict what island B is relative to island A. So that's why you hesitate. That's why you procrastinate. That's why you want to do, but you don't actually do, because your prediction mechanism, it has no data, it has no information, it has no knowledge of island B. So if anything, because it wants to survive, it's going to predict against you going, because it can't predict what island B is. And this is why, right? Just do it. Just do it is this new chapter of my life. Just do it. Because I've been so focused on thinking, so focused on cultivating internally, so focused on trying to find the best route, trying to do the best things, and making sure that the best things that I think are the best things are the best things, trying to find the best option. And I didn't see that this will lead me to further, not just not acting, but away from acting. Because I'm going to think that I'm getting closer, when in actuality, I'm not, right? Because I'm only thinking from the island. So I'm only not just am I going to think, right, from the island, but I'm going to think the thoughts that keep me on the island. I'm never going to think going away from it. I guess it's a good time to bring it up. This body that I've built for myself through powerlifting, through going to the gym, I didn't get it from thinking about going to the gym. I didn't get it from thinking about the best exercises. I didn't get it from trying to find the best weight and, trying to do all this research, X, Y, and Z that I've been doing. I did it from just picking up the weight, from just finding out. And I think that's what I have to do. Instead of think and journal and contemplate and try to connect all this understanding, I just have to act. Because if action is the most reliable way for you to update your inner architecture, then it's action that I have to give myself to. It's experience that I need. It's not thinking more, it's putting myself in the game. It's putting myself in the environment, in the conditions, in the situations that allows me to give my prediction mechanism the evidence that confirms the person that I want to be. Therefore, with time and with repetition, becoming that person, doing what they do naturally, which are the things that I would like to do now. And I could have just I could have just packed all my stuff up, went into the crib, but I decided to, if this is a just do it chapter, I gotta just record this video. I have the idea right now, I have the camera, I have the mic, I gotta just do it. And see, I think for as long as I'm gonna be alive, there are gonna be things that I just wanna do, that I can do, but I'll think out of it because I haven't done it yet, because I don't have the data to do it. But that's not enough for me to not do it, because until I do it, I will always have the prediction of not doing it. Do you see what I'm saying? Do I see what I'm saying? So yeah, the chapter of my life, it's going to be titled, Just Do It. Because I'm tired of seeing people And this isn't arrogance. Maybe it is arrogance, but from doing all this overthinking, it actually has been pretty beneficial. I think it's allowed me to understand the world in a way that others do not. It allows me to see things that others do not. It allows me to understand things that others do not, or at least have the conviction that I do. Yo, if this bee comes over here, I might end this joint short. See, and I'm acting from prediction because this bee I almost lost it. But it's because I'm having the thoughts of the bee coming over here and doing something to me, right? And I'm now experiencing and acting from that assumption that it will. But who knows, right? There's an infinite amount of things that could happen. So why am I choosing that to assume that it's going to happen? All right, what am I doing? But yeah, just do it. Just do it. If you have something that you want to do, right? If you've never done it before, just do it. The difference between having not done something and having done something once is infinite, because you now give your prediction mechanism something that it can go off of, whereas before, it's absolutely nothing. Just do it. I'm trying to think of a cool way to end this, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited because this is a big step for me, because this ideology that has been kind of making me do the writing and not acting, I couldn't see it because I was so convinced that it was the right way. It was invisible to me. But now that I can see it for what it is and see what it's produced and see what it's led to and see the results of it, now that I can understand that the patterns and my systems and my ideologies, they are all the things that have gotten me to where I am. If I don't want to be where I'm at anymore, I know what to change. And I know how to change it through action, through the very thing that I've been avoiding because I thought thinking was going to lead to the right action, when it's action that will change your thinking, because action gives your prediction mechanism, that which generates your reality, the evidence that it needs to predict that you'll do it again. And it's through doing it over and over and over and over again, regardless of how you feel, that allows your prediction mechanism to have the evidence, the data, and the information to now incorporate and become a new state of being that predicts as a person who does this. My name is Kavan Jones. If you're new here, subscribe, like, let me know what you thought of this video. Definitely leave some comments. And yeah, I'm excited because life has been like this, or you can't even see it. Life has been like this, but I have this. And something is coming. Something good. I'll see you.